There certainly were. The day started actually with a setback as far as the jury selection process goes. Two of those jurors who were just sworn in on Tuesday, they ended up getting dismissed today. One of them coming with some drama. Former President Donald Trump entering court without answering questions, but holding up his signature clenched fist. About half of another pool of 96 jurors was dismissed after saying they cannot be fair and impartial. And there was a twist involving juror number 2, who was sworn in Tuesday. An oncology nurse from the Upper East Side called the court last night, saying she could no longer be fair and impartial because family, friends, and colleagues had already figured out that she was one of the jurors based on her employment information. That information is part of the juror questionnaire, which is discussed openly in court. Judge Juan Merchan wants their identities to remain a secret. As a result, the judge has now barred the media from reporting any juror's former or current employer, and he excused the nurse from the jury. And some drama unfolded with juror number 4 after the prosecution discovered he misrepresented himself on the questionnaire. The prosecution discovering an article revealing the man had been arrested in the 1990s for tearing down conservative political posters, and that his wife had been involved in a case involving the Manhattan DA's office, the same DA's office that is prosecuting Donald Trump in his hush money trial. The judge saying, quote, "I'm directing that juror number 4 be excused," and added that he should not come back Monday morning. Mr. Trump looked at the potential jurors as they spoke, appearing engaged in what each of them had to say. The former president is charged with 34 felony counts of falsifying business records in an alleged scheme to cover up hush money payments to porn actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal. And also today, the prosecution asked the judge to hold Mr. Trump in contempt of court for a series of social media posts that he made this week, directed at Michael Cohen, his former attorney, his former personal attorney, who will be testifying in this case, as well as some of those directed at potential jurors. The judge decided he will hold a hearing on that request on Tuesday. Back inside to you.